Guys, something truly horrible happened on the 27th of May 2025 in a community called Eziagu in Enugu State, Nigeria. On that very day, some men in the community were said to have heard a young girl crying and screaming for help. The sound was unusual and deeply unsettling, prompting the villagers to trace its source. When they arrived at the scene, they found a young girl being held captive by a group of men. At first, they assumed it was a case of kidnapping, but what they would discover after that encounter would turn out to be one of the most disturbing crimes in the history of Enugu State. The villagers took on the suspected kidnappers and immediately rescued the young girl from them. They were also able to catch at least one of the kidnappers, but unfortunately, the mastermind behind the evil act was able to escape from them. Upon interrogation, they discovered that the man they had in their custody was not just a kidnapper, but was allegedly involved in ritual-related activities. The suspect was said to have worked for a rich and influential native doctor in the community. This native doctor was identified simply as Eziani, but he was popularly known as Ideple Ideshu. According to reports, the youths have been suspecting him of being involved in some ritualistic activities. However, they never found any proof to confirm their suspicions, so after his boys were caught, their suspicions grew even stronger. The youths marched down to his mansion in the village, where he reportedly lived with his mother and wife. When they arrived there, they began searching the massive premises, but nothing would have ever prepared them for the shocking discovery they were going to make. The compound had other uncompleted buildings that were still under active construction. It is not exactly clear how the youths realized that there were things buried under this series of uncompleted buildings, but somehow they did. One of them picked a digger and began breaking what appeared to be the floor of the building. However, after a hole was made in the floor, they were shocked to discover that it wasn't actually a floor, but rather the surface of what seemed to be a soak-away pit. It was under this pit that they uncovered what appeared to be human remains hidden beneath the uncompleted structures. The most disturbing part was the report that one of the victims was a pregnant woman, and that some of the victims may not have died before being buried under the structures. It then became clear to them that where they were all standing was a graveyard. Eziani was very popular in this village. He was known for his flamboyant lifestyle and his public display of wealth. From spraying cash at public events to hosting lavish celebrations, he made sure that everyone saw how rich and influential he was. Many people admired him from a distance, while others remained quietly suspicious. Though the youths in the community had always found the source of his wealth to be questionable, none of them could have imagined that he would go as far as using the title of a native doctor or dibia as a cover for such a dark and criminal operation. For a long time, people assumed he was just another wealthy spiritualist who knew how to attract clients and followers. But based on the horrific discoveries made in his compound, it gradually became clear to them that this was far beyond traditional practices. He wasn't just a native doctor, he was allegedly involved in money ritual activities, an accusation that sent shockwaves through the entire community. Whether someone can truly make money by taking the life of another person is something that is still up for debate. Some people believe it's possible, others see it as superstition, but regardless of what people believe, the reality of what was found in Eziani's compound forced everyone to question everything they thought they knew about him and about the lengths some people might go just to get rich. It is just so sad that we now live in a society where people take serious offense whenever they are questioned about the source of their wealth. Instead of seeing such questions as necessary, they treat them as personal attacks. Some people will even defend the person with questionable wealth by asking why he didn't question the source of his poverty, as if that justifies turning a blind eye to an obvious red flag. This is a video of Eziani being celebrated and praised as he threw his ill-gotten money into the air during a wedding ceremony he was invited to. People danced, cheered, and sang his name, all in admiration of his wealth. None of them would have ever imagined that the money they were dancing and celebrating with was probably made from the suffering of innocent people buried under the pits in his mansion.
Ọzọ mmadụ kwuru n'eziokwu DVD. He dey play, he dey show. He dey play, he dey show. DVD.
At the time of making this report, the youths had already discovered at least 5 human remains buried under the uncompleted buildings in the native doctor's house. After making these horrific discoveries, the youths became angry and then decided to burn down his houses and cars.
So now everywhere but is go mamba women before una that tibu mad. One other well all kwala befa. E me be ni adi go open. Mani eba. Iye ni na. Obusi go mo bae. Papa there.
The Enugu State Governor got to hear of the horrible crime and immediately sent excavators to bring down the building suspected to have been used for the kidnapping activities.
This is one of the buildings used for kidnapping in Isiagu, precisely Umumba, Isiagu. Isiagu Umumba. And tonight, this building is going down as directed by His Excellency Governor Peter Mbah. Enugu State has zero tolerance for criminality, any form of criminality. So today the security busted them with criminals, made series of arrests with evidence. So the building, some of the buildings had actually gone down, and this one is going down tonight. So if you are a criminal, if you are a kidnapper, you are a ritualist, it is better you leave Enugu State at once, or you'll be caught and dealt with decisively.
At the time of making this video, the native doctor was still on the run. However, his wife and accomplices have been taken into custody for further investigations. You should know that some of the footages from the crime scene were not included in this video, but you can find them on our Telegram channel. Also, as more information emerges, I will publish an update